Hello, welcome to my Tree Arts and Prints. My name is Rosemary. Today I'm going to do a collective read. I have the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. This is a smaller pocket deck, and they have the bigger ones at home. Usually I do lives on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wednesdays will be more of a card read live or an informational live, and our Mondays and Fridays are now going to be for story time with Chief. He will do readings from the Tales and Winds of Time, which is his book that is currently out that you can find on Amazon or any online stores or Barnes and Nobles if you're buying it in your 3D space. We will also be doing the podcast. And if you would like a private reading, as they're much different, there will not be card reads or cards within that reading. These are soul readings. It comes with healing, with guidance, and it's personalized to each person. You can message at ourwatchman247 at gmail.com, or you could private message or comment below and I can give you that pertinent information. If you're catching us through Facebook today, like I said, normally the lives would be on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're just doing a little something different here. You could also catch on the Arc Gallery 1111, which is there is a link through on the Facebook page. And a lot of the information for Chief's book will be put and updated onto the My Tree Arts and Prints page as well. If you're interested in any other working together collaboration networking, we also have in our sister stations. You can check out Melissa Mojo. You can check out Fellowship of the Wizards with Kenneth and Kitty. Also, check out Amanda Joy, I believe, or Amanda Roy, I'm sorry. And her new videos. She's got her reels. She's putting out a lot of information videos as well. So check that out. Very unique person. And Michelle has been working. You'll see her in our comment section with a lot of indigenous cultures as well. And so a lot of healing is being done in that space. So a lot of coming together in unity consciousness. So without further ado, I'm going to use a few decks here to do a short read. And thank you for allowing the space and sharing space with me. And also being part of the beautiful collective you are. You matter. You have value. You have purpose out there. Okay. I'm actually going to take that right on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a past, present, future in this particular deck. And then I'm going to do a little bit of bridge between them. So you have the energy between them as well with the elemental deck that I have. And then one card for an overall maybe solution to what we're going through. Past, present, future. Remember that futures are potentials, meaning that the steps you take today are what determines what happens tomorrow or in that proceeding going forward. If you choose to live in the past or take the past with you, you are carrying things that may not require. You can take the learning from them. We could move on. We don't have to carry some of the traumas or scars, even though we do have those. We send love into those spaces to heal. So I should do it this way. And we'll go through and I'm going to draw them first and then read them. I can say what's going through the collective right now is a lot of energy clearing, a lot of trauma clearing, a lot of things that may be misunderstood or not clarified with other people that have gone and moved out of our orbit. I'm saying that because a lot of people say cut cords. We're not actually separated. We still are connected. We're just not currently operating in the same orbital pattern that we would be if we were working closely together in a 3D space or conversing all the time. So a lot of these clearings are going through, a lot of emotions that we're carrying, any other baggage, like I said, from the past, any problems or cycles that we may be in, or anything that is a healing or wound or any of that is actually being cleared out of us. One of the biggest things I can say is when you kind of strip yourself of your ego in this. So it's basically like a virtual death, right? We actually put the past behind us, and you're in the now, and you get the opportunity, and I say get to, we get the opportunity to actually learn something new, carry those tools with us, add more tools to the tool bag, and to keep moving forward. Or outward, because it's an expansion. Okay, so they have the lower worlds. And with this particular card in the lower worlds, we're talking, and especially being upside down, We're talking more on the lines of the intuition, the what is underneath. This is 31, which is 4 in this deck. So think of 4D astral space, right? The space where we create in. It's like a development space that you push to the live server, right? If you're thinking in computer terms. So 31 is the lower worlds. And this is something that's gone on in the past, and it could also be affecting us today. So the lower worlds hold the hidden treasures of humanity, is placed of rich and fruitful darkness where we can find the disowned parts of ourself and the abandoned aspects of our psyche. So it's talking about going back into your roots, going back into family roots, going back, that's what's coming in, going back into what our patterns could be, karmic patterns. Again, karma is not bad, it is just a way that we learn. And if we're learning not to have our emotions rule us, and instead be in control of our emotions so that we are not reactive but responsive, then we have a responsibility. So the lower worlds is the place of our ancestors, where we discover the gifts and lessons from the past. It is the realm of the collective unconscious. Here we can meet our demons and transform them into pure energy and source of personal power. So are you one of those people who do not like to face the past? So this is looking at the past, looking at our habits, at our cycles that we're in, looking at how even the patterns or negativity, we can carry negativity, sometimes we carry positivity over in from just family members, just being in a cycle, a relationship, a situationship, any one of those. It can be any type of situation or relationship or any kind of experience that we've had. So your past is being called to be acknowledged right now. That's what we're seeing. It's to be heard, it's to be embraced. Because again, the more that we embrace it, the more we understand ourselves, the more we heal ourselves. So it's a way to become unstuck. It's to honor everything that has gone on in our life. It's reflect on the lesson learned and move forward, move out, expand. Expand the bubble out, see a different perspective, see all perspectives. So if you bear witness to your past and learn in lessons, it will stop haunting you. So I was going to say hurting you, but it will. It'll stop hurting you. It'll stop haunting you. It'll stop coming back up in waves, because I'm feeling a lot of this stuff comes through in waves. So this way you can embrace your gifts. All of these emotions, energy emotions are here so that we can embrace our gifts, embrace our true selves, our authentic selves. So it's recovering part of our souls, right? Recovering pieces of us. This is what I mean by the pieces of the psyche. Even forgiving ourselves for the versions that we were in order to get through that experience or to be heard or felt, because it wasn't something that normally we'd survive through. Those versions of us are also versions that other people through their interactions with us have created and sometimes may carry with them, but it's not where we stop at. We are not adhered to one version. So in our present situation, we have the soul retrieval. As we're talking about retrieving part of our soul here, this is part of the soul retrieval here. It is upside down. It is reversed, so the medicine of it, right? 49. So we're talking number 4. Again, another 4, 4. So you're talking about the guidance, the guided path, on the correct path. And we're talking about this cocoon stage. A lot of us may be in a cocoon stage. We're maybe in a healing phase, right? A transformation phase. And you're doing the soul retrieval because you're turning into this beautiful butterfly, which butterflies are not able to even see their own wings. So a lot of times we don't see the light that we're giving off or the transformation process. And a lot of those situations are places that we normally would be in because we're the caterpillar, and the caterpillar has different food types than the butterfly does. They're no longer are able to harbor the butterfly. They're not able to harbor what your soul is expanding out to. It doesn't mean we can't dive in there and you can't land next to a caterpillar, right, as a butterfly. It just means that these spaces, these foods, these types of situations, we outlive, we outgrow. And we can help people who are still going through that process to have this beautiful soul retrieval expansion as well. So the soul retrieval is a practice that helps you recover part of yourself, your energy, just as the lower world, so going back to your roots, and your enthusiasm or your innocence that you have lost. So at first, we'll use soul retrieval to recover from our hurts and heal our childhood wounds. So again, going back to the roots, your childhood wounds, things that experiences that we've gone through, just recognize and acknowledge them. They were things that created pathways in our brains, or experiences that created pathways in our brains in order for us to survive. we're also in this place where a lot of the attachments to the physical world, a lot of the attachments to materials, we don't we're not we can have this moment of a detachment from it, everything that was built the cocoon right now. So in this, we can recover from our childhood wounds. We learned in our journey to recover our original nature, that self that never left the Garden of Eden, that young child, right? The childlike wonder, the safe person, the one that is provided for, that death even eludes, right? So who still speaks to rivers, that little kid, right? Little to the trees, to God. So when we return to Eden, we are whole again. I want to think about the the fact that this construct is, this experience, this matrix, however you want to say it, this earth is the Garden of Eden. So if we're not seeing that it's being treated as such, as something that's sacred, because we're not treating ourselves as sacred and we're not treating it sacred, then that's where the imbalance comes from. So going back into the roots of ourself and understanding the unconditional love and seeing that people can create something even out of heaven, they can create even a hell space, right? And a lot of it starts in the brain, starts in the mind, right? Starts up here. So when did you compromise what you truly believed in to be loved or accepted by someone? Think back over your life and find the time or times when this happened. Vow never to compromise your integrity again. What have you agreed to in the name of love that you know is deeply wrong? So kind of like this child people pleasing mode, right? We go into these places and we diminish ourselves. So the soul retrieval card is asking us right now to take these steps back into our childhood to actually help us to heal and understand ourselves. And we have the gatherer. So we have the gatherer as 21, which is 3. And it's funny, it's got the pumpkin. Here we are in November 1st is the date that we have now, but these readings are timeless. So we're in this harvest season, right? The gatherer here, and this is more of a future potential card as we go through to heal, as we are healing or evolving or expanding, however you want to view that word. Healing, as a friend has said, is much more like healing like a dog, like we have to pull ourselves back, or that there's something wrong, so we have to be corrected in a way. And some of it is just that how we are treating ourselves, because how we treat other people is also how we treat and view ourselves. So if we are sending out love, are we being the gatherer and taking too much, more than we need? Okay, so before we cultivated grains, we collected the wild bounty of nature. The gatherer finds abundant seeds, nuts, berries, and wild greens where the ordinary person sees only barren soil. So again, seeing what the abundance is all around us already. The gatherer is the provider, the forager, and the gardener who collects roots and vegetables for the long winter when the game is scarce. She does not hoard, trusting the bounty around her. So again, we're going into a season that would be the winter season. We're at the harvest seasons right now, right? So you're harvesting to collect to get through the winter. There are some beautiful stories and beautiful experiences that people banding together in community fashion are actually surviving a lot of these things that are put in our space, in our experience, in our path for us to grow. And it's by unity consciousness. So it's saying, do not wander too far afield to search for what Spirit has already provided. Abundance is all around us. Practice paying it forward, being thankful in advance of receiving. If you are in scarcity mindset, open your heart to look beyond current conditions and you will find the bounty being offered to you. Practice sharing, not hoarding. So again, when we share out even our ideals or ideas without having the ability to control or superimpose or impose those ideas onto somebody else, we actually are sharing knowledge that somebody else, even our stories, our experience, our healing, our evolving, are coming through and transforming out of this butterfly cocoon, may be the key for somebody else on their path that may feel a little stuck. So in the abundance phase, in a personal space, when you give, it'll come back to you. You actually get that abundance back because you're already telling the universe you have enough, you're abundant as it is. So all that actually flows back in towards you. And a lot of times it comes back in as a person, it comes back as an opportunity, an experience, even something small. So now's the time for us to actually be like, all right, we have the ability to share, right? We have the ability to share even resources, not have that attachment to that materialist, right? To the things that are our identity. Some people identify with their car or their house or whatever it is. And so those attachments come in, but when they're taking from them, that's when people can go into this mode of uncompassion or apathy or hate and fear mode. So it's saying that this kind of path is very much easy. It's much easier than we think it is. So the energy between past and present, we have the endurance rock. We have number 2, we have a split, meaning that some people are seeing it from the rock and some people are seeing it from the growth pattern. There was a split between what we had to endure and having that endurance and that survival mode pervade into our habits today, which caused a mindset of emotions to flow out, which again keeps us from making that evolutionary step into the compassionate side. Some people get very angry if their things are stolen, taken, because they're attached to them, or they get into a survival mode if they think there's not enough food for them. So this split is you're seeing these two different worlds, the two different dynamics. You're seeing the left and the right, the black and the white, the light and the dark. When in actuality, they both actually work in tandem. That's the endurance, the rock. That is the world that you see being created around here. It is the beautiful tree that grows out of that. So it's also asking us again to go back to our roots, going back to the roots of where we endured from. And can we grow more seeds from this, right? Are there fruits from the tree? So that what we have between the present and what is a future potential, we do have a bushfire. We have a clearing going through. And as I was talking about earlier, this clearing the collective going on. What happens in a bushfire is, even though, yes, there's a lot of things that are animals, people, plants, nature itself, that is being swept away by this fury. It's for fury, the bushfire. It is 10, it's a new beginning. A lot are going through this process, this clearing away, what is required. But what comes in, and even though we see this as a chaotic time and heat and passion, or even just the fury part of it, the anger, our emotions going out of control, ego, emotions go, you're seeing this clearing, because the clearing that is going through, what happens in a bushfire is that the land becomes fertile. You can actually grow more. There's actually seeds that evolved with from certain trees that have gone through areas where there was constant bushfires. They've actually evolved so that their pine cones or their seeds actually burst open and start to reproduce or actually create or grow from intense heat from these bushfires. So sometimes we think of these things as not being, it's a cyclical environment. And sometimes time doesn't quite exist because it depends on your perspective of how you're seeing it. Some people see this destruction as something horrible, and some people are seeing this as a rebirth into something new, which is 10, right? So we have this coming back into union. These are things also as they're being reflected. Everything's kind of been upside down here today. In the reverse, there are things from spirit that are coming through. I say karmic clearing. Think of karmic clearing as the opportunity karma being the cycle we're in. The karma clearing is us getting out of that cycle. Sometimes people are ejected out, forced out, and some people that are still in it, they end in that cycle. So it's learning the lesson so you can expand and move forward. And that would be a message from Archangel Gabriel from the 3D. So we have three right now, 3D. Gabriel is also Thoth, because Gabriel is also Hermes. It's the same character. It's the same energy. It is the messenger. Gabriel's the one that also blows the horns for warning, right? Gabriel's blowing the horn. It's also one that brings in balance, both messages that are held and messages, as he's holding the one bird, and messages that are sent forth. There's a balance going on between this. This is the time where we stand in our voice, in our truth, and our authenticity. So these messages from the spirit world are starting to come and manifest into the 3D. So what we see as this destructive phase, this energy clearing, this karmic clearing, even waters that are clearing, is coming through to actually help make way for new things to grow. So a lot of people get into this, well, I don't know, or the fear stage of I don't know. And it goes, but if you don't know something, now is the time where you turn it and go, wait a second, if I don't know, I get the opportunity to learn it, to actually know what the truth is. And instead of looking at it as something that is destructive to us because, well, we didn't know, I didn't know that this was going to happen, X, Y, and Z, we go, okay, but we get a different choice now. Or we get to understand ourselves, acknowledge any mistakes that were happening, mistakes, and actually make a better move forward. I'm going to leave it with one last card. We're going to do a Starry Nights card, Starry New Beginning, and that will be the message for the collective coming through. If you'd like to be part of the lives, I'd ask or implore that you check out Facebook. We are going to potentially be doing them through YouTube as well on this channel, and then be tying it in with the podcast. So if you're interested in collective live readings, though, I would just check us out on Wednesdays. And you can check out TikTok or Instagram. Sometimes those little reel videos are uploaded there where there's a 3-card spread. If you'd like a private read, please message, DM, private message, or email at the email that's in the description box. So what I have, walk your own journey. It is essential to stay on your own path right now. This is 30. This is 30. She's talking about your 3D space right now. And it's talking about walking your own journey. The more that we are doing our own passions, that wildfire coming through, the more that we are healing, evolving, transforming ourselves, the more that actually goes through the collective, because there is no separation. And it goes out everywhere. It will go out and ripple out just like a drop in the water. So it is essential to stay on our own path, because once we start walking the path of somebody else, then we're actually living somebody else. We're not actually doing our own path. We're not paying attention to our own internal code, our source code. We're not clearing ourselves. We are then adhering or masking ourselves to somebody else. So in this particular path, I'm walking your own journey. You're provided for. We had 4-4. We had a bunch of 4s that came out. We have actually had a bunch of 3s come out. So 3-3, we have a new beginning. So we have ascended masters. We have the guidance from ascended masters. We have the higher self. We have source. They are not things outside of ourselves. They are things that we can embody. We can welcome in. We can actually channel in. We could understand, understand. So these healings, these evolutions, these transformations coming through are again about your roots and where you're going, and understanding our own patterns so that we are able to walk our own path and continue to progress forward. My name's Rosemary, and thank you again for dropping in on My Tree Arts and Prints, and check us out again on any one of our channels.